My question is to the Minister representing the Minister for Climate Change and Energy, Senator McAllister. We know Australian families have been experiencing cost of living pressures, and in part from the rising energy prices that Labor inherited from the previous Liberal and National government. Now, Minister, how is the Albanese Government's commitment to tackling energy price pressures, such as providing every single Australian household a $300 rebate on their bill, helping these Australian households?
Minister McAllister.
Thank you, President. Well, we do know that Australians are working hard right now. They're working hard to keep their budgets on track, and some Australians are doing it tough. And what it means is that every little bit counts. And it is why our government's #1 priority is helping Australians with cost of living challenges. And so over the last few weeks, many Australian families will have received an electricity bill, and every single one of those bills will be cheaper as a consequence of this government's energy price relief policies. More than 10.7 million Australian households have now received a Commonwealth rebate on their energy bills. More than 1 million small businesses have also received a rebate. It is part of a $3.49 billion investment by the Albanese Government, and the most recent inflation data from the ABS showed that the government's rebates are having a direct impact on bills and on inflation. So, according to the ABS, electricity prices have fallen 12.3% since June 2023. And without Labor's Energy Bill Relief Fund, electricity prices would have increased 15.4% in that same period. And this means more money in the pockets of Australian families. Our government's energy bill relief supports the investments we're making in the longer term to put downward pressure on energy prices. On the 30th of October, we hit the highest renewable penetration recorded at nearly 75%. It was the third record broken in quick succession. South Australia and Tasmania already regularly meet more than 100% of their operational electricity demand from renewables. Labor is supporting the build-out of firmed renewables, and that is because they are the lowest cost form of new generation.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Ciccone, first supplementary.
Thanks very much, President, and thank you, Minister, for that answer. And I do note that it is almost 2 years since the Liberals and Nationals voted in this place, the very chamber, against the government's plan to deliver energy relief for millions of Australians, including pensioners, veterans and many low-income families. Now, Minister, what further steps has the government taken to put downward pressure on power prices during this time?
Minister McAllister.
Well, thank you, President. And Senator Ciccone is right to remember that in 2022 the Coalition voted against energy bill relief for pensioners, low-income families, veterans and some of our most vulnerable households. They opposed our plan.
Please continue. Senator Colbeck, it's not like you to be so vocal, but I've called you a lot this week, and I'm asking you to listen in silence. Minister McAllister.
Well, senators will also recall.
Go and get a cup of tea. Next thing you want another 6 years.
Order.
Is that aged care legislation?
I've called the Minister. Minister McAllister.
Well, senators will also recall that they opposed our plan. Those opposite opposed our plan to cap coal and gas prices. Well, wholesale electricity prices are currently around $48, and that is less than a fifth of the $286 they were when the Coalition left office. And one of the most important interventions that our government is making is actually restoring certainty and policy predictability to the energy market after a decade of division and disunity. Well, recently we've seen more evidence of the disunity, with Senator Canavan saying net zero is dead, the member for Hinkler calling for the Coalition to reconsider policies around net zero.
Thank you, Minister.
It's back to the future with this
time
one.
has expired. Senator Ciccone, second supplementary.
Thank you very much again, President. Now, according to many Australian energy experts like EMO and CSIRO, firm renewables are the cheapest form of energy and put downward pressure on prices.
Order.
Now, Minister, what is the impact of different electricity generation technologies on power prices and the reliability for households?
Minister McAllister.
Thanks, President. Well, the senator is correct. CSIRO's Gen Cost report confirmed that firmed renewables continue to be the lowest cost of new generation and nuclear power, which is proposed by those opposite, is one of the most expensive. An independent analysis from IEFA shows that nuclear could add an average of $1,200 a year to a four-person household's bills. Now, one of the very big questions that those opposite are yet to answer is how they would ensure that affordable and reliable energy was available during the decades that it would take to build taxpayer-funded nuclear power plants.
Order.
Well, as the chair of the AER explained to a House committee a few weeks ago, nuclear can't really fill the role of coal. Coal can't last until you'd have nuclear power available. And she went on to say, we see the reluctance of coal-fired generators to offer contracts now because they're worried about the reliability of their
Thank you,
own
Minister.
plants.
Senator Hume.